magandang araw! Narito ang 10 larong Pinoy na kung saan nilalaro ng mga kabataang Pilipino. Halina't taruin natin ang larong Pinoy. Tara!
Tagu-Taguan. This game has no limit to both boys and girls of ages between 5 to 15. This is played outdoors during daytime and on moonlit nights. Children are most often discouraged by parents partly due to belief in unseen spirits that might harm their children. The game starts in an unidentified base where the taya closes his eyes and counts to 100 while the other players start hiding. After the count, the taya start looking for the rest of the players. Once found, one is automatically out of the game. Luksong Lubid. This is another common game played only by girls between the ages of 5 to 15. This is usually played outdoors when the weather is good and indoors during the rainy season. The length of the abaca rope depends on the players involved. The game is played first using 2 taya who are placed after a player touches the rope with his feet. Sungka. This is another set of game widely distributed in the country and the rest of Southeast Asia. This game is played both outdoors and indoors and is played by both children and adults. This is played by 2 players with a wooden pea-pod-shaped board with 7 small holes in rows on each side, and a big hole on each end filled with an equal number of seaguys or small shells. Each player takes turns picking up from any hole on his or her side, putting 1 seaguys in a small or big hole to his or her left, then picks up all the seaguys from the last hole that the last seaguy is put and places them in a big hole to his or her left. Sipa or Takyan. This game is similar to football where players aim to keep the shuttlecock from touching the ground. Shuttlecock usually made of a plain washer attached to feathers, plastic straw rope, or plastic candy wrapper. Takyan or Sipa in Tagalog is one of the traditional games here in the Philippines. The player must continuously hit the takyan with his or her foot or elbow without dropping it on the ground. Yoyo. According to early researchers and documents, this particular piece of instrument wasn't intended for game purposes, but as instrument in hunting or capturing animals and as self-defense. Luksong Tinik. This is a very common game played largely by girls ages between 7 to 12, though in some areas, boys join in. This game is played outside with players divided into sets, comprising of the mother or inay and her child or anak. The taya are 2 players who sit facing each other, stacking their feet and hands together, gradually increasing the height while the opponents jump over it. Patintero. The most widely known and played game in the country is Patintero. Due to its popularity, a set of official rules was established. The equipment needed is chalk or paint, scoreboard, whistle, stopwatch, and powder. A team is composed of 5 players and a coach. The official of the game is the scorer, timekeeper, and 5 linesmen. The objective of a team is to accumulate as many points by passing the lines without being tagged. A defensive team is called the line guard, while an offensive team is called the passer. Karera ng Baong Sangko. This game is designed for racing. This game requires 2 or more children of both sexes ages 7 to 12 years old or much older. This game uses coconut shells with string of abaca rope inserted into the eye of the shells. These strings are measured to the height of the user. A set of starting and finish lines are drawn. The players with their feet on the coconut shells tilts run at full speed to the finish line. Dama. This is another familiar game and familiar pastime that uses skill usually played by males 10 years old and above and played either indoors or outdoors. The game is played on a small wooden board with 10 squares and 14 endpoints. The checkers pieces are comprised of 24 pizzas made from pieces of small bamboo, stones, or bottle caps, with the players having 12 pieces each. The players position the 12 pieces of pizza on the end points of the diagram. The players move alternately from point to point, like chess. The game ends once the opponent's pizzas are captured or literally eaten, especially the Dama or Queen. And lastly, Kolyahan ng Saranggola. This is a game of dexterity and skills at manipulating high-flown kites. Kiting is one of the old games found in the repertoire of Philippine games. This particular game is played by boys ages 7 and older, outdoors during summer. The game is played by two groups using their kites, either a big one or a small one, to engage in the Kolyahan. The players would try to damage each other's kite while avoiding damage to their own kites. Thank you for watching.